Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling a pretty big topic, Web3.
Yeah, it's definitely out there.
You sent over some really interesting sources looking into this, this potential next step for the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And our goal really is to get our heads around the core idea, this whole decentralization thing, and what it might actually mean for us using the web every day.
Right, cut through the hype a bit.
Exactly. And maybe look at some real examples so it's not just abstract theory. You asked for a clear picture, basically, without getting totally bogged down in jargon.
Felt like a plan.
Okay, so one source you sent was from a podcast. A dive into the world of Web3, the future of the internet with Codara. Seemed like a good starting point.
Yeah, they laid it out pretty accessibly. So the core shift, like you said, is decentralization.
Okay.
Think about now Web 2. You've got these huge platforms, right? They basically run the show, control the data, the infrastructure.
Big names, everyone knows.
Web 3 is trying to build something different. A structure where that control isn't held centrally. It's distributed, spread out across the users, the network itself.
Distributed. Okay. And the tech making that possible is blockchain, right? That word pops up constantly.
Absolutely. Blockchain is, it's the foundation. It's like a shared digital ledger.
A ledger, like for accounting.
Kind of, yeah.
Ah.
But imagine it's copied across thousands of computers, not just sitting in one bank vault.
Okay.
And to make any change, the network has to agree. That makes it super secure, really hard to tamper with.
Right, because everyone has a copy and can check.
Exactly. And that security, that transparency, that's what's supposed to give you, the user, more actual control and ownership over your own data in this Web3 world.
Okay, so control is spread out, secured by this shared ledger thing. Got it. But then the sources also talk about NFTs and the metaverse. How do they fit in?
Good question. They kind of build on that decentralized base. So NFTs, non-fungible tokens, are basically a way to prove you own a unique digital thing.
Like digital art or collectibles.
Yeah, exactly. Or even potentially other digital assets. And because that ownership proof is on the blockchain, everyone can see it, verify it. It's like a digital certificate you truly own, not just permission from a platform.
Okay, verifiable digital ownership. What about the metaverse? That sounds huge.
It's still very much, evolving. But the vision is often these interconnected virtual worlds.
Right.
And ideally, a Web3 metaverse wouldn't be owned by one company. It would be decentralized too, letting you own things within those virtual spaces, maybe creating new economies, new ways to interact.
Interesting. And the sources also mentioned DAOs. DAO.
Right. Decentralized Autonomous Organization.
Sounds complex. Like a company run by code?
That's not a bad way to put it, actually. Think of it like an online community or organization that's governed by rules written directly into code on a blockchain.
So decisions get made automatically based on the rules or by members voting?
Often, yeah. It cuts out a lot of the traditional management hierarchy, so you see how it all links back. Decentralization via blockchain enables verifiable ownership with NFTs and maybe collective governance through DAOs.
It paints a picture of a very different internet. Definitely more user-driven, it seems.
Potentially, yes.
So what could this actually mean day to day? How might using the internet change if Web3 really takes off?
Well, that's the big question, the real-world impact. It's still early, but you could imagine having, say, genuine control over your social media profile and data, not just the platform dictating terms.
Okay.
Or maybe creators, artists, musicians, writers could connect directly with their audience, maybe get paid directly without needing a big intermediary platform taking a huge cut.
That could be significant.
And you might see new kinds of online services or businesses run by DAOs, where the users are also the owners and decision makers. The core driver behind all this is supposed to be user empowerment, more control, more privacy, actual digital ownership.
Okay, that makes sense as a vision. Now, that Codara Podcast source you sent, it mentioned a specific company, Codara Software Solutions, and some free tools they offer.
Yeah, it did. It sort of pivoted to, as an example, they're a software company working a lot with AI.
Right.
And the relevant bit here is they have these free tools available on their site, Codara.lk. It's a concrete way to see some related tech, especially AI, in action.
Okay, let's look at those. They had quite a few listed. SaaS Hair, AI for insights and decision making.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe an AI assistant for summarizing or analyzing information quickly.
And then something called Karndama, AI for relationship advice. That's different.
Oh, yeah. Definitely shows the range of where people are trying to apply AI. It It's not just business analytics.
True. They also had more standard stuff like a typing speed test, an internet speed checker, useful basics.
And a file converter, documents, images, audio, video, always handy.
I also noticed Codara Books uses AI for a personalized reading experience, like AI summaries or recommendations within the book.
Seems like it, yeah. Integrating AI into everyday activities. And then Codara AI itself sounded more like their platform offering for businesses.
For AI automation and data stuff.
Probably, yeah. Data-driven solutions, enhanced decision-making, that kind of thing.
And then there were a couple of, well, more unusual ones. Past Life Explorer.
Yeah, that one sounded intriguing. Using AI and visuals for a sort of mystical, curiosity-driven thing shows the creative, maybe even playful side of applying this tech.
And for the tech folks, CodPort, managing network ports.
Right, a tool for developers or network admins. So, quite a mix, from practical utilities to more specialized AI applications.
It really highlights how AI is weaving its way into lots of different tools. But the podcast also mentioned Codara's main services beyond the free stuff. How does that tie back to Web3?
Well, this is where it connects more directly. Codara develops custom software, including AI solutions, web apps, mobile apps. But crucially, the source mentioned they also work with Web3 technologies.
Okay. Like blockchain itself.
Exactly. Blockchain development, writing smart contracts, those automated agreements on the blockchain, and building dApps, decentralized applications.
So they're actively building in this space.
Seems so. And the point the source made, I think, is that technologies like AI and Web3 aren't necessarily separate silos. They can be combined.
How so?
Imagine a decentralized social network, Web3, that uses AI, like Codara develops, to personalize your feed or moderate content in a transparent way defined by the community's rules, maybe via DAO.
I see. Powerful combination.
Potentially, yeah. So Codara positions itself as a company that can help build these kinds of future-facing applications, bridging AI and Web3.
So for you listening, if you're curious to see some of this tech, especially AI, in action, or maybe even thinking about building something in the Web3 area yourself, checking out Codara.lk and those free tools might be a practical first look.
Exactly. The podcast source pretty much suggested that explore the tools, get a feel for things without any big commitment.
Right. So wrapping up our deep dive today, we've looked at Web3, this idea of a decentralized internet aiming for more user control, better privacy.
Powered by blockchain, enabling things like NFTs for ownership and DAOs for governance.
And we use Codara Software Solutions as an example, a company working with related tech like AI, offering free tools to try, but also providing development services in the Web3 space itself.
Yeah, a concrete instance of activity in this emerging field.
So a final thought maybe for you, Shuan. How might this push towards decentralization and giving users more power actually change your experience online? What tools might look different in a few years?
And consider how blending these things, AI, blockchain, decentralization, could spark innovations we haven't even thought of yet. It really could reshape how we interact online. Definitely a space to watch.